Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and to the Antonov build. I know I took a little bit of a break and there might be several reasons for it. Some of the reasons also that daunting amount of work ahead, like it's not stress because of the work but because of the complication. So what I'm going to start to do now is to build actual wings. So I've already started. I've decided, well, there's some considerations that have to be taken into account. So first of all, where are the servos going to go? Am I going to have ailerons on both the upper wing and the lower wing? Things like that, right? So the first thing I've decided is I'm going to put the servos in the lower wing, and then the ailerons from the lower wing will be connected through a rod, at least that is the plan, to the top ailerons. But I'm going to start to build the top wings first, because they're larger and because maybe they don't have the complication of putting in the servo, so I'll be practicing with that. And I've started already. So what I've done so far, and I'm doing everything twice, right, because it's going to be two wings, so then we just have to flip it over. So what I've done so far, I've traced and cut out the trailing edge. This is the trailing edge, this is the top wing, and then I've also got then the leading edge prepared. What I still have to do is then do the ribs. The ribs I'm going to do in 1.5mm. I hope I have enough. And it's like, I think 12 or 13 ribs on each side, so twice as much to make all the ribs for both wings. Then the wingtip, what I'm still missing is the main rear spar, which is somewhere there in the back, so I've got to move things around so that I can get to it and trace it out before I come back and start to build. So that is then the process for building. Now, one of the challenges that was worrying me, and I saw it coming, and I'm not sure if I underestimated it. Let's see if I take this. So one of the challenges is that the wing is going to come in somehow like this. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe on the other wing. I'm going to do it like this. It's going to come in somehow like this. And there's a little, the connection between the wing and the spar, and also being able to remove the canopy is a headache. I saw it coming, but maybe I didn't pay enough attention to it when I was building the canopy, so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to overcome that issue. So I think I'm going to struggle a little bit with it to see how I can actually take the canopy in and out, put the wings in, make sure that the wings also have the right dihedral, because I don't see any pieces that keep it in place. So building of the wing is one thing, which maybe I'm going to say fun part is the whole thing, but also having it assembled onto the airplane in a way that it's solid enough to bear with the weights and the hits it'll get, and also look somehow good is also then the concern. So I'll get to that gradually. First of all, I'll build up the structure of both wings, then I have to develop the ailerons, and hopefully at some point then also go down to the lower wing. So next step, spar and ribs. I'll keep you posted. And back with the wing build of the Antonov. So I've got already, so I said leading edge, trailing edge, and I've also got the main spar, also with the marks where the cuts will be for the ribs. And then what I'm doing now, out of 1.5mm, first of all I cut out one rib to get the shape, and I'm using that one as a template. You can't see it, but basically I'm tracing this one out onto the 1.5. This is where, if you get a kit, a laser cut kit, it just pops out, but this of course is not a laser kit. It's going to be tracing it out, I think it's 13 on each side, so 26 times, and then cutting it out. So I hope I don't run out of wood. If I do run out of wood, I'll have to go and get some more, but that's now the hard, well, not hard, but maybe a bit monotonous of tracing, numbering, cutting, and then putting them together. So when I have them all cut out, and it'll take me at least a day or two or more, I'll show you what I have, the whole bunch of the ribs. So I've used up at least half, more or less half of the 1.5mm sheet that I have, and this is what I have. These are all, I think it's like 26 ribs. I've put them together. I've put them in with there's just one piece where the main spar will go, or one slot, and I've put them together, held them as best I could, and sanding them down to where they are approximately the same size. I would like to have them perfectly, but it's not completely possible. It's not laser cut, it's manual cut, so I might still do a little bit of sanding, but I think it's all within half a millimeter difference, even less maybe, I'm not sure, maybe at the back a bit worse. So anyhow, what I'll do now, these are the ribs for both of the top wings, so I'll take now the ribs, and I've got them numbered. I'll take now the ribs for the right wing, which is going to be this one, and I'll start to lay down, put down the main spar, trailing edge and leading edge, and start to also on these marks, don't know if you can see it, on these marks also with a needle nose file start to make space so that this fits in. If I put it in like this, is it like this? Maybe it's more like that. This is what it will somehow look like. So size wise they seem to be okay, and then just distribute then the ribs, and when I have it more or less set, take it apart again and then glue it together. So I've got now the mock-up of the wing. There is a possibility that it falls apart when I pick it up, yeah, because I still haven't glued it. So those are the pieces put together. I still have to figure out the wing tip, because I believe it's going to be narrower than what I have here, but I'm not sure. I can't see specified anywhere the width, so I might go with the 2.5 millimeter, or maybe even the 6 millimeter. I'm not sure how I'll do that. The pieces seem to be holding in more or less, a little bit crooked, not perfect. And then the next challenge is going to be, because the wing rib, if you see it, the profile goes up a little bit at the trailing edge, and also at the leading edge a little bit. So what I'll do, I'll put like little bits of 1 millimeter balsa, I don't know, strips or something under the leading edge piece and also under the trailing edge piece, so that it keeps it up, and like that keep the spar vertical, and hopefully like that also maintain the profile that is needed. So I'll try to figure out the wing tip and start to mock it up and then glue it, and then there's going to be a lot of sanding needed, but that'll come. I glued the pieces of the wing together overnight, and now I'm taking out the pins that are holding it together. As I mentioned, I put some bits of wood underneath the leading and the trailing edge to hopefully maintain the right attitude or the right angle of incidence, or I'm not sure how to call that. Maybe just a few comments of when I was putting it together, that sometimes when I was, especially on the main spar, on the rear spar it's called, if the slot for the rib was too tight, and it was, at some point the spar was somehow curved, so I had to go in and widen those slots, because I like it when it's a snug fit, but if it's too snug it also has an impact on the shape, so one has to be careful. And then what else I wanted to comment, let's see if I can unstick it, because of course with the glue it's glued onto, I think it's glued onto some of the bits of wood that I put here, and that I don't break it. There it is. I'll take this piece of glue also off. So there's the structure, top right wing, quite sturdy. I've got to say the leading edge is giving a lot of strength, the 10 millimeter balsa. I put the shape in there. I don't know if you can see it. The shape is there. I put in with 2 millimeter balsa the wing tip, and I think here I'll still have to put in some kind of a wing rib, at least on the plan. I can't interpret the plans completely, but I think there's going to be a rib here, so I'm going to try to probably cut one of the ones that I have, sorry, here, and put it in there. It has to be slightly smaller than this, I think, so really not very big, and then also somehow some points leading down to the wingtip, so that it's kind of rounded when I put the tissue on it. And other than that, I think quite happy with the shape. Still have to do a lot of sanding, a lot of shaping down. As you can see, the glue is actually quite a lot of glue here coming out, so I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding, a lot of carving still, but so far seems to be okay. So a little bit of an update and a setback actually. So as you know, I picked up the wing, and then what I wanted to do, let's see if I can do it again, I wanted to present it here to to the fuselage to see how it would fit. Let's see if I don't, maybe I'll take the canopy off, that I don't cause more damage than needed. And it doesn't fit. This should be, so here the spar should go in front of this piece, which is G, and then the leading edge should glue into the other part. I don't know if you can see it. And I have there like those 2mm missing or something. According to the plan, I may be like that 1 or 2mm off. So I've got to see what options I have. If I put it behind, it's not big enough. If I put it in front, it's also wrong. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it. An option is of course to redo the whole wing. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make the other wing. I'm going to try to be much more precise than I've been now, and then this one try to figure out how to do it. I'm still very puzzled as to how it's actually going to be fixed, because if it's what it looks like, it's just 2 small connecting points, and then probably put in some braces or something like that. So I've got to figure it out on how to do it. Maybe I just cut off that piece of spar, move it over 2mm, putting another one that actually will hold in and help it glue together. So how I'm going to get the accurate dihedral on this one, no idea. I think it's just going to be kind of random, but anyhow, one of the challenges. But I'll do the other wing before I do more damage on this one, and let's see how it goes. One idea I had that I wanted to share is that one of the challenges I had with the wing is that the alignment of the slots on the trailing edge and the main spar and the leading edge were not always 100%. So you can see here, for example, this rib is slightly crooked, this one also. The alignment was not always easy, and other than the issue with the spacing. So what I'm trying to do with the other wing, what I did, I put all the elements together. So in here we have what we have here. It's the trailing edge, then the spar, and then the leading edge. I kind of nailed them together with a pin, 2 pins, and I'm marking at least where I'm cutting. I'm not cutting, it's with a needle nose file, so I'm filing. So I hope that those at least fully aligned, or as fully aligned as I can get them. Then now I just finished doing that. I'm going to take it apart, and then for the spar and for the trailing edge I need to filing a little bit deeper, but at least the position is already marked and somehow selected. So I hopefully will have a straighter set of ribs. Let's see. Then the connection to the fuselage, that's another ongoing issue, but just wanted to share that. And here I am over engineering things, as is my style. So let me wrap up the video, because I think it's going to be quite a long one. I haven't tracked how long I've been recording for this one already, but basically, so I've built also the other wings. I've got both top wings built, not sanded but built. And then according to the instructions or the plan, there's kind of a solid block that has to, I don't know if it's used for, but it somehow has to go in between the spars, and I'm going to use it also to fix that wing, because it's there's not much of a joining point. So I suppose that is the aim. I'm imagining now that is the designer's intention. So for that I've put 2 blocks together, one for each side. This is then the left one. I've dug out there the shape for the spar, as you can see, and measuring it, I had to put in 2 pieces of 9mm, and I still have to carve it down or sand it down. So maybe if I put it in first, and I had also to do some adjustments to the shape here for one of the stringers that I already got in place, this for one of the fuselage frames, and this for the wing spar, for the rear spar. So this, in theory, if it works now, fits in here quite well, or it should fit in there flush. Then the wing spar will be squeezed in there, and that means that this, if it's fixed correctly, and if the pieces that I made here, these reinforcement pieces are being made correctly, this should keep also the right dihedral. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of a dihedral there. So that is kind of the theory. Same on the other side. I've already also got the piece here, as you can see, a little bit of a cutout there for the spar, for the stringer, and cutout there for the spar. So that's the idea then. I still have the feeling this is not strong enough, and I know that maybe the lower wing will also support this. So what I've also decided to do, and I don't know if you can see it, I've drilled in holes here, 2 holes in the front support and 1 hole in the rear support. This is 3mm plywood. It's made out of 3 layers of 1mm plywood because I only have 1mm, and the toothpick actually fits in there quite tight, which is nice, snug and tight, which is 2mm. And then my plan is, whenever I get the moment of actually fixing it in place, is to put in 2 pieces of toothpick. I might just only use maybe like half an inch or something, that goes into the wood, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and kind of hope for the best, that it keeps that dihedral. So that is a step. What I will have to do at some point is, of course, then to glue the 2 pieces, the 2 blocks, if I can take them out. I have to glue it also to this kind of root rib that is a little bit thicker than the others. That needs to be glued in there quite exactly. And this, if I hold it like this and I wiggle it a little bit, seems to be holding. Kind of hoping it does, right? So that is kind of, I don't know if it's the workaround or if it's the real design how it was intended. I might also need to put in another block of balsa here for the trailing edge, because I'm not sure how that is actually thought. Let's see if I can assemble it without breaking anything. Yeah, maybe not. So we'll put it in first. Ideally then this will have to go in also once it's glued, right? But I prefer that it's tight. It's always better that it's tight, because then it can always be sanded down than the other way around. It's difficult to unsand something, right? So I'm not sure exactly how to cover this gap here. It might also go with a little bit of wood. I'm not sure, because then it's also the tissue is also going to have to meet here somehow, so that's going to be a bit of a headache. Or maybe just the tissue will just go over there. I'm not really sure. Maybe the tissue. I'm just thinking now. Maybe the tissue. But anyhow, this is then the steps with the top wing. So far, so good. Each wing I weighed it is like 17 grams. I want to weigh it then after I sand them, because I suppose it will take off 1 or 2 grams. And then hopefully, my hope is that these pieces, these blocks that I have for both sides, that they actually, I don't know how this one goes now. Does this go? Yeah, like this. That actually are strong enough to support the wings. So anyhow, I leave it here, as I say. Thank you everybody very much for following along and all the encouragement on this complex build. Not just complex building itself, but a lot of small problems to overcome, which, as I always say, that's the fun of it. And I'll see you next time.